Dust motes danced in the light. The air hung heavy, thick with the metallic scent of blood and the bitter tang of fear. Bakugo lay motionless, his fiery spirit extinguished. His eyes, usually blazing with determination, stared vacantly at the sky. The heart that had pounded with such unwavering courage was gone, ripped away by the cruel hand of fate. This couldn't be real. It couldn't be happening. Not to him, not to Bakugo. He was invincible. He was their rock. He was gone. The world seemed to tilt on its axis. Landing beside him, her legs buckled, sending her crashing to her knees. Tears welled up in her eyes, blurring the already hazy image of her fallen comrade. His hero costume was now a tattered and stained testament to the vicious battle that had just transpired. The once vibrant energy that had crackled around him, a testament to his explosive quirk, was now nothing more than a fading ember. The silence, broken only by the distant crackle of battle and the muffled sobs escaping Nova's lips, was deafening. She reached out, her trembling hand hovering over his still chest. Fear, sharp and cold, pierced through her numbness. She had to check, had to make sure. Her fingers, cold and clumsy, found their way to his neck, searching for a pulse that she knew wouldn't come. The confirmation, when it came, was like a physical blow. A strangled cry escaped her lips, tearing through the oppressive silence. Her vision swam with unshed tears, her chest constricting with the effort of trying to breathe. Grief, raw and all-consuming, threatened to drown her. Her cosmic powers, normally so vibrant and responsive, flickered erratically around her. They mirrored her own tumultuous emotions, the searing pain of loss, the burgeoning rage towards the one responsible, the crippling fear of a future without him. She was a tempest, a storm of cosmic energy brewing under a sky heavy with sorrow. The world, once so full of life and promise, had been reduced to this. A desolate battlefield littered with the debris of shattered dreams and the lifeless form of a person she couldn't imagine living without. And in that moment, cradling Bakugo's broken body against her own, Nova swore vengeance. She would make Tamura Shigaraki pay. He would suffer for what he had done. She would make sure of it. The air crackled with energy, a physical manifestation of the rage that coursed through Nova's veins. Her sorrow, as vast and deep as the cosmos itself, was quickly being eclipsed by a burning need for retribution. Her grief was a supernova, ready to explode outward in a devastating wave of cosmic fury. Her hands, still trembling, clenched into fists. Bakugo, her friend, was gone, snatched away by a villain who reveled in death and destruction. A cold, calculating rage settled over her, chilling the hot tears on her cheeks. Shigaraki would pay. He would pay for extinguishing Bakugo's fire, for casting a shadow over their world, for forcing this pain into her heart. I swear it. By the stars that gave me life, by the very fabric of this universe, you will pay for what you've done. Her words, though spoken with demand, resonated with the power of 1,000 suns. They were a promise, a vow etched into the very fabric of the cosmos. Shigaraki had unleashed a force. He had awakened a cosmic vengeance that would consume Nova. The universe itself seemed to shudder as Nova's powers surged, a maelstrom of cosmic energy responding to her grief and rage. Stars flared into existence, their light a stark contrast to the encroaching darkness that threatened to consume them all. She rose from the battlefield, her silhouette a beacon against the dying light, Bakugo's still form cradled protectively in her arms. She wouldn't let him go, not yet. Not until she had fulfilled her promise, not until Shigaraki had paid for what he had done. Planets trembled at her energy, their orbits disrupted by the sheer force of her anger. Stars exploded in brilliant supernovas, their light a testament to her grief and a harbinger of her wrath. She was a force of nature, a cosmic tempest unleashed upon an unsuspecting universe. And at the eye of the storm, nestled safely in the cradle of her grief, lay Bakugo. His presence, even in death, fueled her, urging her onward, reminding her of what was at stake, of the promise she had made. Nova flew through the ravaged tomb in the sky, her mind awhirl with grief and determination. She had to get Bakugo to safety, had to find a way to bring him back. As she landed beside her teacher, the weight of her loss crashed down upon her with renewed force. "Nova, what happened?" Mr. Aziwa asked, eyes wide. "Is he—" Monoma sutters. The words hung in the air, heavy with unspoken grief and despair. "He's gone," Nova spoke, staring down at the floor, tears still flooding her eyes. A collective gasp escaped the small group of heroes gathered around them. "No! Bakugo!" pleaded their teacher. He grabs his radio, one hand still on Monoma. All might, his usually indomitable spirit dimmed by years of battle and the ever-present weight of his responsibility, swayed slightly at his words. "Young Bakugo," he choked the young man who had such a fiery passion. Yet, as Nova gently laid Bakugo down, a soft gasp escaped her lips. A faint, almost imperceptible golden glow emanated from him. It was as if a spectral hand reached out, a ghostly silhouette forming above him, a familiar hairdo and a determined set to the jaw, watching over him. The spectral figure hovered above Bakugo, its form flickering like a candle in the wind. It was a ghostly echo, a testament to the indomitable spirit that even death couldn't extinguish. Hope, fragile yet tenacious, bloomed in Nova's chest. Perhaps, just perhaps, this wasn't the end. Perhaps there was still a way to bring him back. She wouldn't give up. She couldn't. Not while a single spark of his fiery spirit remained. She would find a way to rekindle the flame, to bring him back from the brink. She owed him that much. They all did. The battle was far from over. The fight against Shigaraki and the forces of darkness continued. But in the face of overwhelming odds, in the shadow of unimaginable loss, a glimmer of hope remained. The legacy of a hero lived on, not just in the hearts of those he left behind, but in the spectral guardian that watched over him. A silent promise whispered on the cosmic wind. This is not the end.